Blog Talk Radio.
F-A-T-C-A-T, man, y'all rockin' a Fat Cat show. This is my show. F-A-T, watch the time on you. Say it one more time. F-A-T-C-A-T, man, y'all rockin' a Fat Cat show. This is my show. F-A-T, watch the time on you. Here we go. No matter what you say, I'ma spit it how I spit it so you niggas can't forget it. Everybody is a critic. I walk in the dark with my chronicles acidic, with my game up the bar, so your girl'll let me hit it. Damn, man, my show's simply marvelous. You can stop the hating and debating, you can't argue this. Cause if you found something better, you would sip Moretta while wearing an ugly sweater. But my show you listening, so stop the whimpering. This is for the sinners and the born again Christians. Turn to Philippians, nope, you can miss me then. If you wanna talk, take my number, you can hit me then. Cause you know my show is rocking. Fat Cat, remember that when your girl is shocking. When them headphones are knocking. Fat Cat show and you don't stop the knocking. F-A-T-C-A-T, man, y'all rockin' a Fat Cat show. This is my show. F-A-T, watch the time on you. Say it one more time. F-A-T-C-A-T, man, y'all rockin' a Fat Cat show. This is my show. F-A-T, watch the time on you. Here we go. Yo. What's crackin'? You rockin' with your boy, the sinister minister, the thinking deacon, the Rabbi Raymond Noodle, the chaplain of fried chicken's last rice. Let me see who is. Somebody be commenting already. Fat Cat, and I'm down with my dog, Ruth. You know who it is. It's T. Satellite, but Bills. What's cracking?
Hey, what's up, man? What's up?
Yeah, man. One of them days, man. Like, we starting this show, and like I said, man, I hear music in the background like a mud dog. Like I always start the show off, wishing everybody a happy birthday and giving our condolences for those who may have lost somebody. And today's show is kind of like a little somber note, and you know, because unless you're living under a cave or under a rock or something, or don't have access to TV or media or whatnot, you heard of the passing of Kobe Bryant and 8 other people, including his daughter. And this is what we kind of like dedicated this show to, and not simply on the merit of because who he was, you know, but he was a generational icon that had impact on a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? We hear some insensitive comments. Some people look at it and they say, why is a dude talking about a guy that he don't even know, a millionaire and all that? But even in that, we can all relate something to a specific event. And Cole, you know, he kind of impact. He gave people dreams. He made people, you know, he did what people in this generation, what Michael Jordan did for other little generations of kids. He helped them to be able to dream and all of that. So, and before we start the show, I just want to say, if you following us on YouTube, Twitter, Periscope, Deezer, Spotify, Blog Talk, Stitcher, iHeart, all the other little platforms we on, we thank you, and let's keep sharing and keep building this little community. And I want to thank all my YouTube listeners too for stepping up and commenting. And also, when you get a chance, make sure you subscribe to Fat Cat Show Network, and just show your support, you know, because we need it. But anyway, just getting off into the show, and like I said, we started it off. This is like dedicated to my man Cole and his family. We wishing them well wishes and all of that, because I can imagine it hit home. It hit home for me. Just looking at it from a father's perspective, and looking at it as as a husband. Nobody don't want to lose their spouse or nothing early, or a kid. You don't never want to bury your kid with it. So I could just imagine Kobe's wife at this point, um, just how she's feeling in the sisters. They just had a baby last year and all of that stuff. So, what in a sense, satellite. What does this say to you? What is going through your mind right now with that?
I'm really sad to hear about what happened to Kobe Bryant. Um, what's even worse is some of the comments that people made about Kobe Bryant
Yeah,
in his passing. Because, like you said, you're a father.
yeah,
You got to look at the situation how a father would look at it.
mm-hmm,
And I think a lot of people don't have that sympathy and empathy
mm-hmm,
for other people to
right,
even make a comment like he was rich, y'all didn't even know him.
right,
But
right,
at the same time, you have a lot of people saying, pray for my family members that's in the hospital. And we pray for them, but we don't know them.
right, right,
That's empathy.
right,
And me and you, we talked about this offline.
mm-hmm,
I, I was saying a lot of people are emotionally immature.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
right, right,
And I can kind of tell the married people or the single people from based on the comments.
right, right,
Because what man in his right mind would want to, or what woman in their right mind would want to deal with you
mm-hmm,
talking crazy like that?
mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's definitely, like I said, when I heard it, I was at church, and our assistant minister he had called me, and he said, "Man, I heard Cole died in a helicopter crash." And when he said it, I was like, it was unreal to me. Like, are you kidding? Because even like as funny as it sounds, when you watch somebody literally, I got a chance to like watch him on TV as a 17-year-old coming into the league. And I remember, I'm not gonna lie, my first kind of impressions of him coming into the league was like I don't think this kid gonna be ready. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I don't think he gonna be ready. He coming in there, of course Mike was still hot in the league, and Scottie Pippen, and you had all these other little guys still when Kobe came into the league, and then you was like, and then I looked at him and I was like, man, dog, I don't think this kid gonna be ready. But then when I saw him, when I got a chance to watch him play for the first time, I seen a little bit something different in him. Like he had a different type of mentality, and
He had that maturity,
yeah,
basketball maturity
yeah,
for his age. You
yeah,
wouldn't expect him to have that
it,
because he didn't go to college and
yeah,
get
yeah.
coached into the game. You
But
know, because you got to get coached into the NBA.
yeah, but you know what? He had an NBA father. That's the only difference with it. But his career ended up being greater than his father could even have dreamed of a career to have. And the thing that kind of like got me was like when I saw it, I was like, I wasn't quick to throw the MJ label on him, but I was like, he got his mentality. He got something about him, and so
He had that killer
yeah,
instinct.
yeah. He was like, he wasn't the Kobe that we would grow to know right now, but he still had that. You could tell it was something special about him. And I took it early as cockiness. And the thing about it was, I didn't like him at first, and I was like, basically like, can't call in for some reason. Okay, oh, I don't know what the hell going on with the line. So the cockiness kind of got me looking at it like damn, like This dude, I see, he ain't gonna make it. But then when I understand when he came up with the Black Mamba persona and stuff like that, basically he was carrying himself like the predecessors before him, like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, the only other one that I knew had that kind of killer instinct and cockiness and stuff
Yeah,
about itself.
because
So
LeBron James don't have it. Like if it's
no,
5 seconds left, Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant would demand the basketball.
yeah, yeah,
LeBron don't have that. He'll pass the
yeah,
ball.
yeah.
He don't want it. Period.
And but you know what? Not to take nothing away from LeBron because LeBron he's a different monster in itself.
He
But
is.
but
He don't have that killer
yeah, he don't
instinct.
have that instinct like them. But the thing that I found so special was that the day before Kobe died, when the torch, when he passed Kobe's scoring record, and he was talking about Kobe, and he said a couple of things. He said I'm gonna get to the line in a minute. He said I was a 15-year-old kid. He said, and I was playing basketball. He said I never dreamed of a kid being able to come into the league. He said that wasn't even in my mind at first. And he said Kobe came to one of my camps and he talked to us. And 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 when I saw him in the league, it gave me a reason to dream. It gave me, because you remember, LeBron was a poor guy. He was, his mother, then they stayed in the projects and stuff. They were poor. So it gave him a reason to dream. And that's the thing that is so uh, prophetic about uh, what Kobe meant to a lot of people. Kobe and Jordan, they gave each generation a dream because if you look at it, and we just talking about the black community, period, and we're talking about most, like in my neighborhood, I could speak of. Most of us didn't grow up with our fathers, so we didn't have fathers to teach us trades and things like that to get us. So our generation came up dreaming. I think Jay Z said in the lyric. I know we be laughing when we quote lyrics, but Jay Z said either we gonna riddle, dribble out the hood. That was our two options that we looked at. That we wanted, other than guys that chose to take other little routes of selling dope and stuff like that. But most of the hood guys we emulated trying to be Jordan, of course, later in life, Kobe came along. But in our generation, Jordan was it, and Jordan was for Kobe what Kobe was to LeBron in the later generation. So it's also, it's all good though. Let me get these calls. Hold on. What you rocking with the Fat Cat Show? What's happening?
What's happening? What's happening?
What's happening, man?
Just yeah, it's a tough day, man.
Yeah,
That one kind of hit me.
yeah,
This one feels like this almost felt like Prince, man.
yeah, yeah,
And I know Prince. I know Prince was probably bigger, but just slightly on the world stage. I mean, like, oh man, wow!
yeah,
I couldn't believe that when I heard that,
yeah,
and I mean, it's. I don't promote celebrity worship, but I do acknowledge that we live vicariously for a very short amount of times through people that we see on the screen,
mm-hmm,
and they do give us inspiration, and we
right,
can't just dismiss that
yeah,
as it's something that doesn't mean anything. I mean, you got Barack Obama, although he didn't really do shit for black people, but you got kids who was born into a world with a black president, so that
right,
got to
right,
have some
right,
impact.
right,
So
right,
definitely my condolences to the family. Definitely share some tears for the brother because wow, I mean that's
yeah,
an unbelievable way to go out, and we probably never would have expected for him to go out like that. So
right, 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 right. Nick, Cuz, you on the line?
Yeah, I'm on the line. I have we have this thing. It's a unfortunate. It's an unexpected event. My thing is how people say that we shouldn't bring up, like, who made this rule to don't speak ill of the dead? If you were living and you did something that was noteworthy, like a big rape case, why is it that that's taboo not to bring that up? Whether he was,
Because the
cause it's a
person is
part of his
dead. I'm
story,
talking
and
about
it
it's a
still is a
time and a
part of
place for
his
everything.
history and what he's done. We already know that when you do something, whether you accused, convicted, innocent, once that allegation is out there and you went through that trial, that's on your historical mark. That's a part of your history. So for people to just get selective amnesia and not want to bring stuff like that up, it's a little hypocritical and phony to me. I don't like the phoniness that death brings with people.
Okay.
Oh,
Mm.
okay, go. Satellite, what?
Okay. Like I was saying, it's a time and a place for everything. I'm saying to bring up if somebody was to bring up a book of everything that you did wrong at your time of death, would you say that was wrong? I'm talking about
No, if
especially
I did it when I was
we
living,
talking about
that's why
allegations.
I
Hold on,
try
hold
to
on, hold on, hold on,
I
hold
try
on,
to
Wait, let him.
live like
hold on,
this.
hold on, hold
Hold
on.
on, hold on. Let him get it out. Go ahead.
We talking about allegations,
No,
and
oh,
America got a history of blaming black people for things that they didn't do
Mm-hmm.
because it's straight up allegations.
but did anybody ever read that case? Because the minute that case came out, I was looking at Kobe's suspect and didn't favor him from the beginning. Whether he was, it still was skeptical, and the allegations were there. So for people to just, especially black, in the black community, it's just like we want everybody to be our hero, and we'll overlook some of the shiciest things they do because either they have talent or is these conspiracy theories. If a person has done something, that's a big deal. That's why, like, I try to teach my children, and I
Mm-hmm.
try to live by the code.
It,
Do the right thing when nobody looking, and be mindful of how you conduct yourself. Because you could do one. He redeemed himself from that. Most people don't get the chance to redeem themselves. So it's just like you need to be mindful of the actions and the predicaments you put yourself in because
yeah,
people don't forget. And people
yeah.
are not going to forget the things that you do. So I don't know who made this rule up of it's a time and a place and what's disrespectful. I mean, it ain't like they making up stuff.
Hey, but let me say
It was
this.
a part of his history.
Let me say this. I look at when I was looking at the allegation at first. At first, I had to say to myself, um, like, can I really? Do I really know what it is to walk in a star's shoes? No, but the thing that I looked at Kobe at that time, people forget he was relatively a young man. He was a real young man, and he didn't know. And at the time, he did make a bad decision. But what I got out of it was I initially thought that maybe his thing was he was exposed for cheating on his wife, and he was more
Right.
he
Uh-huh.
was more embarrassed that it was brought to the light that he was cheating on his wife because let's be honest. Kobe had millions of women that would chase after him, but he chose a hotel
Mm.
clerk woman. Not saying that he ain't beyond rape or nothing like that, because I don't know him personally. But when you put your logic together, why would this man have to rape? Oh, I'm not being. Wait a minute,
But look,
wait.
oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
Go
not
ahead.
being, and I'm not being facetious. I'm just saying, why would he have to rape a basic woman?
But
Where he could have, he
why
could.
are we
Is
talking
no
about
is no rhyme
somebody
or reason
case
to rape. Rape is don't
about
sometimes
somebody that's
be
dead?
even about sexual
We
things. It
talking
could
about
be
a
the
case
thought
about somebody
that
that's
how
dead
dare
that's
you
not
tell me
married or something
no.
like that.
It can be a power thing.
I'm talking about
It don't
did
necessarily. So
you
I think a lot of
hey
times
Fat
people
Cat, you
get
heard me
caught
say
up
it's a
in that
time
too.
and a
Like,
Wait,
place
why
for
wait,
would you
everything.
what,
rape somebody? But
what,
there's no logic to rape. A rape is man. You can't even begin to
what,
fathom what
what,
makes them trigger. To us, we would be looking at it like, why would you go mess with this? But to a rapist, it could be prey. It could be what they think is an easy target. It could be they gonna think, yeah, I'm gonna rape her because who gonna think I want this one? So this is the one I'm gonna get because who gonna believe her? So there's many factors to a rapist's mind.
But you know what though,
Hmm.
the only thing about how you bring it up, it's kind of like let's say you getting presented an award. Let's say a humanitarian award, and somebody bringing you up to the stage, and then all of a sudden somebody a couple of people run out of the audience. Oh, nigga, I remember when you wasn't so such and such and such. I remember when you was robbing niggas and this and this and that. But the person done changed their life.
But you know what's so crazy about all that?
What?
Look, we have enough stress and problems on us as being a black man anyway. Everybody's against us. White men is against us. We get judged when we going to get a job, to go to a school, riding down the damn street. And then our own women a lot of times don't support us. You see this right now. This man just lost his life. And during a time where other people are mourning, you got somebody saying, oh, he had allegations. Not a proven fact, an allegation. Knowing that people they do
and he settled out of court.
People they lie against us. Period. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't believe in the whole people are against you. You got to be against yourself too. Now, ain't nobody just made no stuff up.
Wait, cuz.
Mute her off real quick.
Right.
You not here.
But
you not here to sit here and defend yourself. This is a time of people are mourning. You know, people that didn't even know this man, they mourning right now. Our icons like Bill Cosby or anybody they're being tarnished.
Yeah.
And at a time of
who doing the tarnishing?
Grief, you got a woman saying, "Oh, he had an allegation of rape," you know, and knowing that, I'm gonna say this: white people they got a history of lying on us, saying rape and for us getting murdered, lynched, and sent to prison over this. You see, Emmett Till. Mm-hmm. A white woman said he whistled at her. Later on down the line, she said he didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I'm talking about, black people just defending.
That never happened to me before, because it did happen. A woman lied on me like that before. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I know it can happen. I wouldn't rape anybody. I wouldn't force myself on anybody. So I know how it feels for somebody to come up against you and say, okay, he took something from me, and you didn't take anything.
But you know what? Just think of celebrity status.
Right.
Because I was just listening to the radio, and they was talking about Fat Joe was in the interview, and he said dudes used to run up to him and start fights with him to get him to hit him. Right. So they can get lawsuits.
Right.
So just imagine on Kobe's type level of
just imagine you on Kobe's level, and your own people ain't backing you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then
how you gonna believe something that they said? You know what I'm saying? How you gonna believe that bull crap?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. And then people get caught up in the whole racial thing about he didn't. You know, sometimes you put yourself in these predicaments and then look for your people to bail you out when you're clearly wrong.
Because nobody talks about the schools that we open or the good fathers that's out here taking care of their kids. You know what they talk about? Oh, it's black men don't like to take care of their kids. All the fathers that I know that I grew up with, they take care of their kids. All the guys that I know.
All the men that I know take care of their kids too.
Same here.
You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But nobody.
I know some great fathers. Like really amazing father. Like all the friends I have, I got really good. They were all great fathers. Really great kids, great mothers. So yeah, it's weird, man.
Every black man I know, everyone I know, take care of the kids, and even when they had one with a crazy baby mama. He took the time out to go to court and make sure she moved out of state and pulled a stunt. He
So,
made no
so if
excuses.
you do
Took
have
that
this,
woman to court and got his
support us.
son.
That's all I'm saying. Support us.
But
You know what I'm saying?
look,
Now,
So
I'm talking about
I
that is
acknowledge
not the.
both. I
I'm talking
acknowledge
about
both.
just support
I
your
acknowledge it
black.
all.
Support your black man. We need the support.
but let's say that. Let me ask
But I'm
this.
not gonna support wrong. Well,
But
I'm not
How
gonna
do you know
support
it's
or
wrong?
try to act like
How do
something
you
like
know
that
it's
didn't
wrong?
happen.
Well,
How
I
do you
think I
know it's
think we
wrong?
have to also acknowledge like where are we getting this information?
yeah,
Are we still in the mindset that the white man's ice is colder? Are we more apt to believe that everything that they feed us and automatically it's automatically fact when we have more evidence showing that they have done more shit against us in several avenues on many levels. We talking about food, water. We talking about health care. We talking about education. We talking about the prison pipeline. We talking about the court system. We talking about diseases. Well, I mean, it's endless, but we are very easily to believe what
yeah,
they feed us on the screen. And then at the end of the day, is this not a human being? At the end of the day, do we absolutely know the facts?
yeah,
So why, when we bring this up in the moment of a tragedy, are we automatically saying that we absolutely know that this guy's a rapist when we all are just kind of really speculating based on the information that a white system that uses racism against us all the time is telling us?
Yeah, they
Crazy.
got a history of killing us, demonizing us,
And
demonizing us.
and with that being
And it's
said,
getting worse.
that is
And it's getting
also
worse.
used. That whole principle is also used as a scapegoat to not hold people accountable and black people accountable for when they
You
are
see what I'm
wrong.
saying?
When you're
You
wrong,
listen
you're
to her.
wrong, and you put
People just need
yourself
to
in
listen
that
to the
situation, knowing
words
how
that's
the
coming
system
out of her
is.
mouth.
Nobody forced you into that
Look,
situation.
you know what?
So aside from all of that, and people have the right to bring up
oh
Wait a
man.
minute.
things. That's
What?
that's
What?
human
Okay,
nature.
but
People are gonna
go
bring
say
up
your
Wait a
what
point,
minute.
you
man.
used
Wait,
to
You might
do.
have to.
wait a minute. But I think the overall thing is that said is that we always the way the system is ran, we always got to look at things in a black and white spectrum because
Always.
always because when you look at it, you got a woman like the police officer that went in the apartment and killed a black man chilling in his own living his own life, and she only get 10 years.
Yeah.
But we got a mayor sitting in jail 28 years, a black mayor sitting in jail 28 years for some money, a
We
life.
got way too much evidence in our favor than they have in their favor. You know what I mean? So we have to be careful on how much we believe that's fed to us through this media. If you look, it doesn't take much to look at how many of our black, what do you say, our most elite, most successful, most out front celebrities. How many of our black folks are getting taken out one by one? We only make up 12% of the population, but it seems like we taking the hugest losses all the time, especially within the past couple of years. And we're not questioning none of this. None of this seems fishy. Like, come on, man.
But I wanna
We question it. I question it,
I
but
want
I also not gonna be blind to there's certain people that are actually doing these things, and that when it comes to celebrity and black celebrity, they get a tight. It's like no. Michael Jackson would never. Oh no, this person would never. Some of these people are actually out here doing these things. Everybody just not making up stuff on you. You are actually doing some of these things, and just like people are getting caught, a lot of these celebrities, white ones too. You know, it's funny how they always want to bring up Bill
Okay.
Cosby and this, but they never want to talk about the white people. Like some of these white people are getting in trouble. They are getting canceled. Their
Okay.
shows and their money is being affected through the whole Me Too movement. Black and white men alike are
Okay.
getting, is the scope is changing different as far as women being able to speak up more and being held accountable. So Bill O'Reilly, he got kicked out, and
Can
so
I say
it's
something?
not. It's just that people choose to
Please,
look
can
at
I
it
say
as
something?
a
I
black
know
and
she
white thing,
talking.
and
She
white
on the
people are
road
getting in
and
trouble.
can't hear
We
nobody
just
else
ain't in
saying
that
nothing. But
world.
please let me say something.
Wait. Okay, I'm gonna let you say something after this.
Okay.
But you said, look, when Bill Cosby, when they brought the allegations from 100 years ago up, they crucified him quick, and that's a black man. Harvey
Yeah.
Weinstein's allegations been going on for the longest, and this man's still out of
Mm-hmm.
jail. He's still out of jail. White
Yeah, but
man.
he going through, and he went in. He did get. They didn't just overlook it and say he's
But
still undergoing through trial.
But
And he
guess what
got,
he
but
is?
but,
you
but
got to look at
Guess
him
what
as
he
far
is,
as
Fat Cat?
power and money.
Guess what
He
he is,
got way
Fat
more
Cat?
power and money than Bill.
Fat Cat.
what?
On top of him being
Fat
white,
Cat. Guess
Shit.
what he is?
What is you talking about?
Harvey Weinstein got more. Go look at Harvey Weinstein. He owned Hollywood. He was out there raping actresses.
Wait a minute.
So yeah, it's hard to bring a case up against somebody like Harvey. And you got to prove it, and but you got to bring up more than one person. Got to come up.
Oh.
But it's like a lot of people that Kevin Spacey, all of these people, there's a whole line of comedians, Louis C.K., a bunch of them got their shows canceled off just one word, not even a whole rape. Louis C.K. got in trouble and his show canceled just for saying things. But because we don't know and we don't pay attention to the white world, we don't see when they get held accountable for stuff. And they do. They get in trouble. But my thing is with the whole, don't be black, don't be colorblind that black people ain't out here doing stuff. Because they are.
Go ahead, Satellite. What you got?
All I'm saying, listen, it's two Americas we must live in. You know what I'm saying? She live in America where everybody's being prosecuted for the same action. In America I live in, only black men are being prosecuted and prosecuted quick and swiftly.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff she talking
You
about.
saying only black men
Man,
are
look,
being prosecuted?
hey, Fat Cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin Spacey's walking right now. Kevin Spacey's cool right now. What's your boy that was on today's show? Matt Lauer. Matt Lauer chilling.
Bill O'Reilly.
Chilling. Bill O'Reilly chilling. All them chilling.
But
They
then
not
we
in
can
jail.
say
They
R.
not even
Kelly
thinking
free and
about jail.
chilling too. Where's R. Kelly? Is he out?
Who?
What's he in?
R. Kelly ass is about to be under the jail in a minute.
Yeah.
But look how long he got. Look how long they got away with it, and it's just a lot of, to me, especially from the male perspective, it just be a lot of victim blaming. Like every woman, it just can't be possible that these women have been raped. Like these men are just not raping these women. It's unfathomable. So it's just a lot of victim blaming when it comes to rape in itself. And people don't understand that for a rape victim, it's hard for it to come out. But you got to pay attention because people are being held accountable. It's just what you pay attention to.
Hey, but you know what? I know we got deep into the logistics, but I wanna look at the Kobe impact. We spent so much time. That's how quick it can happen.
That's the point. That's the point. See how that works?
Yeah, it took the focus off. We were so busy trying to defend, the negative allegations that we didn't even take time to even focus on the positive impact of his life.
You know what we didn't do? You know what we didn't do? Look, when somebody else is talking, you got to stop and let the other person talk. Don't talk over people. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
Okay, well,
and respect the host. Like Fat Cat, when you talking, I say, "Oh, my bad," if I cut you off or anything. You can't just keep talking when you hear somebody talking. You might have a point, but you got to pause, stop, and respect the host.
Look, go. What you?
Oh Lord!
But you know what? In all honesty, like I said, what I could look at Kobe's life and say, because you could take something positive out of a lot of things, and what I could take out of his life, what I thought was cockiness in Kobe was just pure determination, because we were always taught. I know in my household, I was always taught humbleness, but I didn't understand that, because more times than many, humble people kind of like give way to other people a lot of times. And Kobe had a swagger and a confidence about himself that I'm not coming second to nobody. I wanna win it. I'm not coming second to nobody. I got a different or they asked Kobe before, they said, what makes you different than the next person? He said, my drive don't end after the game. Kobe would They said he would stay in the Staples Center and shoot all day to perfect his game. Even when he had the missed shots at Utah when he lost the game and he shot those 8 air balls. He said that affected him so bad that he worked on his game even more. And you could tell that the person that stands out in the group that's got a different determination than the next person. And I only seen that in one other player, and that was Michael Jordan, that had that swag and that determination that surpassed everybody else that was in their little genre. And I had to respect that, because I used to hate seeing Kobe come when when they played the Pistons and stuff. I didn't like him because he was cocky, but I thought it was pure cockiness, but I didn't know that was just his drive and his determination. You know?
Bucket.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Could you imagine giving somebody's eulogy in church and somebody stand up and say, "Oh, he went shit. He owed me $20."
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why when I say empathy, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when we young, we don't know any better. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? We emotionally immature. But somebody in their late 30s or 40s, it's a time and a place for everything. You got to know when not to say something. That's what you learn when you get older.
But you know what? We ain't even worried about that. We worried about what impact could you say that you took out of Kobe's life? I'm not even focused on these negative people
You
no
know
more.
what you know what I'm focused on? Kobe's life and the things that he did positive. He
Yeah,
was a good father.
yeah, and
He,
not to mention the other lives that was lost. Forget
right,
about them. The other
right,
lives that was lost in there
right.
too. You
But
know.
we talking about Kobe.
Yeah,
I'm saying only thing that I really know about is Kobe. That's why we talking about Kobe
yeah,
right
yeah, yeah, yeah,
now. It was other people that died in that accident,
yeah, yeah,
but we know nothing, zero about him.
yeah.
Period. So we can't have that conversation
I,
about him.
I know, but I'm more hurt too, because initially I didn't know that his daughter was was
Right,
on the helicopter too,
right.
and then that's what hit closer to home to me, is that because me being a father of a daughter,
That's
and
right.
so that kind of like was like, wow, you know what I'm saying? I could just I couldn't even picture what the last minutes might have been, or did he? You know what I'm saying? Did he hold his daughter? Did he?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you just
Because you're a father.
yeah,
Being a father, you're a protector, and you
yeah,
always want to protect your child.
right.
And when that plane was going down, it was nothing you can do. You know, she probably looked at her daddy for comfort or help, and it was nothing that
That he
daddy
could
can do
do, yeah,
at that time. You know what I'm saying? And you think about things like that. That's where that empathy comes in.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Man,
Not
that,
talking about what that man did, what he got accused of doing
I
from
yeah,
somebody else.
yeah.
I'm talking about it's a time
right.
and
Yeah,
it's a place for everything. No, who made that up? Nobody made that up.
but
But you know what you gotta have? You gotta have empathy.
right.
You gotta have sympathy. Have empathy for black men.
But you know
For
what?
us being accused for doing things that we did not do.
Yeah,
And we
But we
Uh,
going back over there. Let's focus
I
on
know,
code.
I
Let's
know,
focus
but
on code, man. Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
You got me back. You
yeah,
got me back to where
yeah.
I'm
Let,
supposed to be.
yeah.
Okay.
So what impact? Like I said, what impact would you say that you took out of his life, and that you could take from his life, or
I I I I, I take it back as far as Jesus Christ. He was just a young boy, right? He snuck off. He was preaching to people. How old was he? 13.
12.
He was 12, and it was like he's just a young boy. How can he preach to somebody? That's how I looked at Kobe. I said he just fresh out of high school. He ain't even play college ball. Can't
Mm-hmm.
listen to that boy. When you think you something that other people think that you're not, you have a different swagger about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep. What about?
And I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
No, I'm done.
You done? What about you, Wallace? What are you?
I just I see my wife said 81 points.
81.
Yes, that's where I'm at with it. I just Kobe, man, he was a symbol of just excellence. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, really using your talents to the nth degree. I mean, not leaving anything on the table,
Mm-hmm.
going all out. You know what I mean? Like you said, first in the gym, last to leave. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, this is what you this is what we try to instill in our children. We try to build our own selves up, and he did all that on a world stage. That's
Right.
another level of greatness. That I
Right.
mean, it's one thing to be a beast on
Right.
your own when just your personal two and few friends see it, but to
Right.
do this consistently on the world stage, bruh. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you got it's something commendable. And then after basketball, he looked like he was really going and he
Focusing
had
on
another
something.
spiritual level that I seen he was diving into, and
Mm-hmm.
he was about to really get into his business aspect. So it was just really sad, man.
It is. It is. Cause what you got? Hello? Maybe she not. She not on there. But anyway, what right quick? What I wanted to get into too was the reporter that reporter, man, that made that comment when we dive into it. The reason why I didn't really want to give too much negative on there, that's why I didn't really dive into it too much. But did you get wind of that, Wallace, of what that reporter did?
Yeah,
MS.
yeah, I seen it. I heard it. You know, let's chalk it up to a Freudian slip. Some people, hey, some people got it in them. It wasn't actually saying nigger. Maybe he was saying knickerbockers. Maybe who knows? She knows what she did. I don't know, but we just know that we end up always on this end of the stick. That's
Right.
what we know.
Right, but just in case people might not know what we talking about, this is a quick clip of the video and what was said, and you make your determination, and we'll talk a little bit about it. But I want to get back on focusing on the life and the legacy, and what that meant to you. What kind of things that you drew out of his life. But check this out.
He was just the kind of athlete, the kind of star that was perfectly cast on the Los Angeles Lakers. Kavita, if I could ask you to stay with us.
But to me, she said she mixed up. This is her excuse. She mixed up Lakers and Knicks, and that's what she said. But the Knicks didn't have nothing to do with what happened. That's what kind of like got me. It had nothing. It had nothing to do with what he said. But another thing that made me think back when this happened, this tragedy, I thought back, and I'm just simply talking. This is just in case my son is listening. When my grandfather died, I was I was a little bit upset with my son, and my son my grandfather had passed, and then the very next day, my son's one of his boys got killed. And so my son came over to the house to be with the family, but his focus wasn't my grandfather; it was his boy, and I felt it was a little bit disrespectful. But my son said something to me that wasn't that I felt that he wasn't getting where I was coming from. But I thought at the time I thought it was a little bit, disrespectful. He said, "Dad, I really wasn't around Granddad like that, but I was with my boy mostly every day." And so I didn't understand that at the time, but now that I look back and I think about it, we have to look at things, that people don't view things as we view them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They don't view things like we view them. And while my grandfather was like my all in all, I had to realize that wasn't a part of my son's life. And so when we knock other people for feeling a certain way, we in terms are kind of selfish ourselves, because we only think about how we feeling at the time. And so when I thought about this, when I thought about that everybody ain't gonna view Kobe's situation as a sad situation. Everybody can't view what happened, because some people may not be parents, and they can't view it as a father was lost, a daughter was lost, and they just got a different view of it. And mostly, maybe some people can't see Kobe past being an athlete. You know what I'm saying? And so,
right.
So you have to look at it at that sense. But what touched me so much was the fact that I could look at Kobe as that father. I could see him when I saw him on the sidelines, with his daughter, and he was teaching her the game and just pointing everything out. And I could easily place myself in them shoes, and said I could picture if I was an athlete and trying to teach my son or my daughter the rules of the game. You know what I'm saying? Because we often times in our childhood, we don't have let's say maybe our parents may not be those type of role models, so we kind of cling on to what we see, what's in front of our face, and most of the time it's either athletes, rappers, all of that type of thing that's happening. So what's your take, Wallace?
I don't have one yet.
You don't have
Give
one?
me a minute.
Okay, but like I said, it was just. And did she really? Did she have a slip of the tongue? The report. I think back to Wait a minute. You call it. I think back to when just last year, the reporter, I forgot what city it was or state, whatever it was, when Martin Luther King's Day, when he said Martin Luther Coon. And
Right.
I'm really trying to grasp my mind around how did that mix up, but like I said, I don't want to give too much light to that, to that conversation, because like I said, 9 people lost their lives. You know what I'm saying? And this one, and Cole, the sad part too, one of the sad parts too, this year he was going into the Hall of Fame with Duncan and Garnett. And and it was like, and so naturally I looked around the league, like tonight on the Piston game, they all came out wearing 24 and 8 jerseys, in his honor.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but like I said, I took a lot. Like Kobe, kind of like gave me that like drive, that gave me a new definition of just drive, and like
Right.
I didn't what I thought was, like I said, what I thought was cockiness was just his drive, and it was like,
Mhm.
and naturally, if you got a different drive for somebody, uh, people are gonna hate you, especially if you
Mhm.
successful with it. They gonna think you cutthroat and all of that. So I don't know. I just what you got, satellite?
Um, he had that drive. He had that killer instinct, and he represented excellence for us
Mm-hmm.
as being an athlete and a business person. He was on his. He was an actor also,
Yeah.
and that's what we want to remember the brother Bryant for.
Yeah.
No, not the negative things that he got accused for.
And,
You know what I'm saying? And something to go about what the sports caster said. She clearly said niggers.
yeah.
Clearly. I don't know what you heard.
Yeah.
I know what I heard.
Yeah.
And it ain't
Yeah.
1988. Well, people got VCRs. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I kept going back,
Right.
hearing it again. Niggers, niggers. She said it
Uh huh.
so clearly.
Yeah.
Niggers.
It,
Come on, give me a break.
you know what was a you know what an interesting fact about Kobe that I found was real interesting. Kobe said right before he got famous, he wrote a letter to himself, and he wrote as a 16-year old, he wrote a letter to his old self, like
Mm.
like for futuristic things. And in this letter, he wrote he wrote some of the things that he wanted to remind himself. He said, "Never invest in friends and family." He said, give
Mm.
them. He said, give them advice, but don't give them no money. He said,
Mm.
he said, my parents are just my parents, not my managers. And
Mm.
he also wrote. He said, keep yourself on an even keel. He said, work harder than anybody else, and you're going to the Hall of Fame. He wrote all of that to
Wow.
himself, and so that shows you
Wow.
just the level that he was on. That was so different, and he kept that letter, and I guess he just put it in a book or something, not a couple of years ago, that he wrote, and I'm just and that's a different type person who thinks like that at that age. You know what I'm saying?
That's called. Yeah, that's that self mastery, man. And
Yeah,
that is a special person to even be thinking about that at that age. So yeah, he's a special dude, man.
yeah. So I'm just telling you. I feel me and my wife yesterday, man. We was floored. We was really
Oh
floored,
yeah.
and it was like I can't even believe it. You just feel like you almost feel like you could relate so much. It almost felt like you lost a relative or something, and it was just
Yeah.
like man, because I could just only. My wife was just saying. She said, "Honey, if I lost you, I wouldn't know what. I wouldn't know what." And we ain't even millionaires, so I could just imagine just the other people that's on that plane that was on that helicopter. What's their next move? It ain't like they were on Kobe's level of money or anything like that. So you got a wife that's grieving her daughter and husband, and they I don't know the other people that were involved, because they said 9 total, and
Right.
it tripped me out how
Yeah.
you know I didn't even know 9 people could
I
fit in a helicopter.
And people are talking about why people ain't talking about the other people. We know zero about the other people. I don't even know their names.
think
Yeah,
What we
I,
gonna talk
I
about?
know three.
what you say?
I know three of those 9 people were in. from the same family. So we talking about three people from one family, man. So yeah, it was
Wow.
tragic, very tragic.
Yes. And that's what make you feel so bad, really bad about it. And like I said, there is I'm gonna say this, and I know some people may not know that there's. I think the Bible speaks on everything having a season. There's a season for everything. There's a season. They say it's a season to mourn. There's a season for happiness. There's a season for, you know, and I think during the time, like when I spoke on, because grief is very different to me since my grandfather passed. It's a very different type of grief, and I think some people really don't have tact when it comes to grief. Like I said, I think one of the most disrespectful things that I see some people do is taking pictures of your loved one in the casket while you sitting up here grieving.
Oh,
I
that's
think
terrible.
that is awful. That is, I seen that at my
That's
grandfather.
terrible.
I seen that at my grandfather's funeral. Man, I wanted to. I'm telling you, I wanted to just go
Or put it on Facebook.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? Somebody even asked me, like an old person even asked me, "Can you take this picture?" And I looked at that person like,
Mm.
"Are you crazy?" That's
And we in our family we deal with death in a whole different way. We might laugh, we process it differently. So we might laugh and act crazy at the funeral, but certain things is still like taking pictures and doing stuff like that, and you posting and you on your phone is ridiculous.
right, right, right. So I just like I said, I my thoughts and prayers just go out to his family. And I hope and I pray to God. I hope I never lose a kid before I don't even I think I don't even want to see that type of grief ever.
Right.
Even though
Well,
Mm.
your kids are supposed to bury you.
yeah,
You ain't
yeah,
supposed to bury your kids.
yeah, yeah.
Period.
I
Period.
I just I always say this.
Can you?
What you say, Wallace?
No, I was just gonna say, man. Can you imagine being Vanessa, man? That's just
Oh yeah,
absolute worst day
And
of her
and the
life.
people that lost their whole family. It remind me of my
Right.
coworker. Her son, her only son, her grandson, somebody's twin daughters. They lost almost their whole family in a fire that was caused by arson. And that was my coworker. So I saw that up person. So yeah, that's a mess.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Say they was the daughter's coach and her friend was on there, played basketball with her. They were on their way to the game at the academy. Yeah, and like I said, I don't know. It's Kobe was kind of like a symbol to some people in the younger generation of hope. Whenever I don't know about people, but when I see successful black people, it kind of gives me a different like type of hope.
90 seconds.
That's what kind of like I'm gonna tell you, kind of like disappointed me a little bit more about Obama. You know, my grandfather before he left this earth, he got to see a black president. And I think
Mm.
a lot of people in that generation that thought they'd never see it got to see it, but that wasn't enough to
Right.
just see it. We were expecting him to do a little bit more, but here we are.
60
You went from
seconds.
Kobe Bryant to talking about the president.
I'm just
Go
saying,
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, man.
but you know what? I'm not going over your buffoonery anyway. But anyway, like I said, rest in peace to Kobe and all the others that lost their lives. I'm sorry I don't know their names, but they're just as important as he was.
Mhm.
And that's what I want to get
Yes, they were.
across. I want to get across. Every life lost counts to me. So we just want to say, goodbye to those, farewell, and to those
And,
families and
and
all
not
that.
only black lives is not the only thing that matter. All lives matter.
Look at you.
Black ones matter the most.
But anyway, y'all.
10 seconds.
Anyway, y'all, we up out of here. Y'all have a good night and all that, and say a prayer, y'all. Peace.
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 Peace.